offensive coach comes up to him and goes, hey, what do you think you could give me? He goes, she said I can't play. He goes, yeah, but do you think you can play? And he was going to put this kid back in there. And I'm like, come on, this is a junior varsity game. They're barely keeping the score. They don't even turn the scoreboard on because they don't want to pay the electrical bill. Just in general, I'm amazed at that, because it doesn't matter if we're talking about junior varsity at John Marshall, if we're talking about freshman football at St. Ignatius. Doesn't matter if we're talking about your local high school or whatever it is. Like, those are the safekeepers of the youth, of our children, your children, whoever's out there. And those are the things, more than the fact that these kids are disorganized and they're like the Browns. They've always got 12 or 10 players on the field. They can never just get 11 players on the field. But those are just bad coaching things. I wish that was what I was complaining about, but I'm seeing all kinds of stuff that just red alarms like crazy. And I'm like, this is one little example of a school where there's dozens more right here in this area, and then hundreds more right here in this region, and then so on and so forth around the country. And a couple parents and I were talking. We're like, man, we're not talking about, no offense to those that play tennis or something. We're not talking about a non-contact sport. We're talking about a lack of discipline and a lack of coaches' structure over a violent sport, and I'm telling you. So I'm sure that I'll be telling you more about that, because I intend on having some conversations with the head coach and that, because I'm amazed. But I'm watching some of this stuff, and I'm telling you guys, some of you, we talk all the time, and you guys are old school in a lot of your ways of thinking. But this doesn't even require old schoolness. This just requires some, I'm telling you, your jaws would be on the floor if you saw some of the things that I saw. And in the meanwhile, in the midst of all of this, is a group of, they're like the Bad News Bears, man. They're getting miscoached. There's no parental supervision on this thing, and yet these kids are plucky, and they're getting at it, man. Listen, they still haven't won a game, but they lost their first game 50-7. 50-7. Yeah, they stopped. They was running the clock in the whole second half on that one. Second game, they got beat 23-0. And this game, hey man, they were with it, man. They only lost 14-6, man. And I'm like, these kids are getting better in spite of all the things against them. But that's on the field, and I don't care about that, man. That's the fun part of it. I'm amazed at some of the lack of organization, the lack of institutional control, I guess, to use an NCAA term, that these kids are going through. I'm shocked. I'm like, is this just under the radar, but nobody cares, or does nobody know about it, or what? And just amazing. But if you guys would see this, we talk about what's wrong with our athletes. We're talking about Ray Rice. We're talking about, Adrian Peterson. What's wrong with this guy and that guy? And hey, man, this is what happens. This is where it comes from, man. You got, at the junior varsity level, you've got these union coaches who are actually just teachers who get an additional salary for coaching the football team. And they're out here. There's no. It starts there. When you grow a plant, the roots are what start, and that's how deep and how strong they are. Is how you took care of that plant when they were a seed. These are seeds, man, and they're not growing them right, and then they end up being messed up adult individuals who have been catered to their whole life because they can run fast with a football, or they can jump high, or they can throw it really far, or people buy their jerseys, or whatever it is. And the only person that's being let down is the kids. I'm not in any way saying, hey, this is why Ray Rice punches his woman out in the elevator. No, but this is where you end up with a whole generation of kids who think the only thing that matters is what they do on the field and not anything else, because that's all that matters to the coaches too. And it's a shame, because the ones that lose out are them. It sounds like I'm being speechy and preachy, but I'm not trying to. But, that's the whole point. How many of you let your kid play high school football because you think he's going to go to the NFL? Maybe you hope he does. But, how many of you, come on, we know what that is. But you think, all right, my kid's going to get some discipline. He's going to, maybe get himself in a little better shape. He's going to learn some leadership and some teamwork and some sportsmanship and all of that stuff. But, when that's not happening, then, there's problems. But it starts there, and it ends up where we're breaking open the show talking about what guys did in the elevator over the weekend in a casino. And I just thought, I'm watching it yesterday, and I said, what a segue there. I want to mention this on the show because I'm watching this stuff going on, And, you know, and I'm not the only one. Other parents are like, hey, I thought I was the only one noticing this. And I said, no. And I even said, hey, look, I'm not a big celebrity media star, but I've got a little bit of a platform, and you can bet I'm going to use it to maybe mention this and bring some change, because the kids are the ones that suffer. Anyways, all right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk Tribe. You hear Huey Lewis in the background. If this is it, then let's go down blazing. If we're going down, then run out of time. Win them all and run out of time. Fall short at the end. If this is it, let's talk about it with Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. 67% chance if they win out. That's better than nothing. Let's talk about it. Talking Tribe. When we come back, you're listening to the Sports Fix. We have just begun.
It's not ending. You say anything to avoid a fight. Girl, don't lie and tell me that you need me. Girl, don't cry and tell me nothing's wrong. I'll be alright, one way or another. So let me go or make me wanna stay. If this is it, please let me know. If this ain't love, you better let me go. If this is it, I wanna know. If this ain't love, baby, just say so.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
we'll be right back.
Guys, want to take just a second as we head into this break and remind you about the official business printing source of the Sports Fix, our friends at Signs and Ship. Signs and Ship, I'm telling you, Chris and Pam, they've taken care of me since day one, and they can do the same for you. Whether you're a small business that's already been established and you're looking to grow to that next level and expand your business, or perhaps you've got an idea that you just know is going to be a great business and you need to figure out how to brand it and how to promote it and put it out there, Signs and Ship is the place for you. If you need a logo, they can create one for you. They have a fantastic graphic designer. Business cards, signs, banners, yard signs, mobile advertising, anything you can think of that you need to promote your business, they've got it at Signs and Ship. The best thing about them, too, is each of their locations, whether it's the home base here in Elyria, Ohio that I work with, or their spots in Virginia, Florida, and Pennsylvania, it's all local sourced. Very important to me because we all understand that small business is the lifeblood of the community. So check them out, signsandship.com, or call Chris and Pam today, 440-323-6060, the home office in Elyria, Ohio. Signs and Ship, quality printing at affordable prices.
You're listening to the Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Elo hit a three-pointer on the sideline!
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix.
There's heritage, and then there's birthright, the passing down of important things. We're talking about something deeper than nostalgia. We are proud. The C is for Cleveland and courage and comeback. No matter who we are before, when we put it on, we stand on common ground. This season, it's about unfinished business. Get ready. Here comes the Tribe.
Hello, Cleveland. This is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Sports Fix. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you as we roll on here. Big Tuesday show coming up. Don't forget, my man Dr. Football Bill Chackes is going to join us a little bit later on in this hour. Coming up next, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com getting ready to talk about the Tribe. And, I mean, I said it to start the show, baby. They are down to the final strike. I mean, there is no more tomorrow, and that is no cliche. That is no over-exaggeration. Van Halen couldn't have said it any better. Right here, right now, that's it. You lose. The day the Indians lose, this season is over between now and the end of the weekend. That's it. So you keep winning, and you keep it alive for another day. As I read earlier at the beginning of the show, Baseball Prospectus before yesterday's game, based on the way the season has played out, said if the Indians would go 7-0 in the final 7, which we now know they can't do, they had a 91% chance of making the playoffs, losing the one game yesterday. If they win out, they still have nearly a 70% possibility of making the playoffs. That's all you can ask for at this point, especially in spite of so much of the things that we've seen. But a big missed opportunity last night. I mean, this is our last chance to look at a loss and say, well, there's always another one. And a real missed opportunity to gain ground on Seattle, as well as Kansas City and hell, even Detroit there, actually, even though that's an outside deal. So instead of the magic number, the tragic number cut into yesterday. The Indians now any combination of 2 Cleveland wins and Detroit losses away from being eliminated in the division, which is kind of a foregone conclusion. However, now that wild card number is equally as low. Any combination of 3 Indians losses and Kansas City victories would eliminate the Indians from playoff competition. They're still alive with 5 to go, though. And let's start there with Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. You can keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter and email, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Jeff Gorman, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, J-Rock. It's amazing considering everything this team has been through. And even though last night, which I called Judgment Night on Indians 101, even though it didn't go exactly the way we wanted, we're still talking today, J-Rock, with, you know, they've got a winning season in the bag, and they still could possibly do it. But like I said last week, they have to finish 11-2, and they've gone 6-2, so it's got to be 5-0 for here on out, or there's really nothing else to say.
I mean, that's it. That's really it, especially the next 2 days. Like I said, when your number is 3, any combination of you and Kansas City, obviously a loss to them in either of the next 2 days would just completely end the deal where there's no hope. But even then, I mean, you know, we can't even do the math deal right now. I mean, you just have to win. You have 5 games. You have to win all 5 games. That's it. You know, that's the way you have to look at it. And then the chips are going to fall where they may. Last night, missed opportunity. And you know what? Before we get into anything else, I teased it before I brought you on, before the commercial break, and I was mentioning a little bit of a little beef I've got with Carlos Carrasco. Did you guys catch in the post-game interviews, and I think the quote was even in the Plain Dealer today too, but did you notice the quote about the errors and the defense that he thought cost him a couple of runs? And he point blank said, we should have made those plays. It cost me 2 runs.